be suggestive, or no, actually, it looks like there's merit to these allegations, and the president could be potentially compromised.
Well, there's 3 areas of exposure, it seems to me, as you outlined. That the president may have colluded with the Russians. That's still out there. That the president may have obstructed justice in terms of this investigation. And third, the one you just mentioned, he may have been involved with money laundering, he and his family. All 3 are still hot to you in terms of investigating. All 3 topics.
Yes, and I think we have a lot more work to do on all of these topics. And you can see some of the limitations we're operating under when Bannon won't talk about what he saw during the transition or his time in the administration. And the majority in the case of Corey Lewandowski is willing to take, I'm not prepared to answer that today, as an adequate response. So there's a lot more work we need to do. There's a lot more, for example, just about the Trump Tower meeting. People that knew what went into the Trump Tower meeting that have not been before our committee, telephone records we want to obtain so we can determine whether Donald Trump Jr. spoke with Donald Trump Sr. about that meeting. But yes, money laundering of all of the allegations could be, if there were merit to it, the most compromising in the sense that the Russians would know they engaged in it, would have a powerful lever over the President of the United States, and we have simply not been permitted by the majority to look at that issue.
Thank you so much. U.S. Congressman Adam Schiff, ranking Democrat in the House Intelligence Committee. I'm joined right now by Paul Butler, former federal prosecutor and MSNBC legal analyst. You're watching all. What do you make of all that? Money laundering is hot because of Simpson's testimony. That's what they were looking at that led to the dossier. The president clearly doesn't want to talk about that. I get the feeling he's just going to fire Mueller the minute he goes in that direction.
Yeah, so what the Simpson transcript says is that Eric Trump, now this is a new name.
Shut up the president.
Yeah, that he could get any money he wanted from the Russians. So we have that, we have this suspicious pattern of real estate transaction between the Trump organization and people in Russia that looks like money laundering. And then we have Steve Bannon, the guy who knows the president best, or knew the president best, who says that if the Trump team goes down, it's going down because of money laundering. So this is, again, we as you say, they've been focused on collusion, on obstruction of justice, but this could be the thing that undoes the administration.
Chris, it raises the whole question of whether his campaign for president was partially a criminal enterprise. It was all using the prestige of a presidential campaign to get some money with that 666 property, right, with the Deutsche Bank, and the whole question of were they actually selling the land so they could get their money laundered.
Yeah, and when we think about the political organization of the campaign, that's another area where Bannon is key, because the question that they will ask him is how did it work, and would it be possible for people like Carter Page and George Papadopoulos to meet with Russians and Trump not know about it? If Trump knew about it, then, and again, if he testifies otherwise, he's already said on TV that he did. If he says to the grand jury that he, or to the FBI that he didn't know about it, and he did, that's perjury.
Hey, we're watching these pictures. I always like these pictures. They show Steve Bannon sitting very comfortably in the Oval Office like he belongs in that chair. He says in his testimony, by accident apparently, oh yeah, we were worried, we were talking to the White House about those meetings, about the meeting at Trump Tower. We talked about it, but it opens up the game to, he knew, they obviously talked about it, but now we know he said they talked about it, Bannon.
And how could he not? Because he also said he thought it was treasonous, the fact that they were meeting with the Russians to talk about the election on behalf of President Trump. So again, Bannon has a lot to tell Mueller. I would love to be a fly in the room.
You know, they separated the two Menendez brothers when they interviewed them. I always love the idea they separate the two suspects. In this case, you got Bannon, who doesn't like these nepotism people. He doesn't like Eric and Donald Jr. and Jared and all that stuff, sitting around benefiting by their pet father. He's at war with them. He may want to testify against them.
He's a prosecutor's dream witness. Again, he doesn't at this point have exposure. He only gets in trouble if he doesn't tell the truth. So they're going to tell him, yes, Steve, now you're not talking on the grand jury, you're talking to agents, but you're going to have to tell the truth. If you don't, you're going to jail.
What do you make of this? I don't know if we're ever going to get to the bottom. Executive privilege. It was wiped away because the Nixon case was a criminal case.
Yes.
It was an impeachment case, high crimes, misdemeanors, all about cover-up and everything else. There, the Supreme Court said, sorry, buddy, no executive privilege. Where is it going to play here at all?
So here's the deal. There is some claim, limited claim in a congressional hearing before the grand jury, which is what Mueller's working with, no credible claim of executive privilege. Even with this congressional committee, I think Trump has waived it because the things that they wanted, the witnesses to talk about, like Michael Flynn and the White Fire James Trump has been all over the news making various inconsistent statements about that. So you can't talk to the high heavens about something and then prevent other people from talking about it on the grounds that it's secret. So I think as soon as it gets to the court, and again, that's where the congressman was right. It's the Republicans who are running these committees who are not forcing the witnesses to talk. Because they can say, if you're claiming executive privilege, make the president send a letter or file a motion. Because it's not these witnesses' privilege, it's the president. So he's got to claim.
I mean, I can't let you go to it because you know all about this stuff. What is a perjury trap? Is there such a thing, or is that some sort of rhetorical device by a lawyer to set up the innocence of his client who thinks he's going to lie?
Yeah, so a perjury trap is when the prosecutor intentionally sets someone up to try to trick them into telling a lie before the grand jury. The best way to prevent it is to tell the truth. And apparently the president's lawyer thinks that his client has a hard time doing that. And that's why I'm concerned about
certain laugh about criminal behavior. Anyway, thank you, Paul Butler. It's great to have you. As always, up next, President Trump hits the campaign trail ahead of another hotly contested special election in Western Pennsylvania. But he's not the only president looking to make an impact in 2018. President Obama's coming off the sidelines. We'll see how he handles it and how these two match up. This is Hardball. The action is.
Don't let a win defeat your drive. Keep your eye on the ball.
You can be smarter with this drive.
There are no limits. Put yourself to the test. Because there is a never-ending quest.
Now with a powerful turbocharged engine. It's our most impressive Honda ever.
If you're moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's symptoms are holding you back, and your current treatment hasn't worked well enough, it may be time for a change. Ask your doctor about Entyvio, the only biologic developed and approved just for UC and Crohn's. Entyvio works at the site of inflammation in the GI tract and is clinically proven to help many patients achieve both symptom relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. This condition has not been reported with Entyvio. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. If your UC or Crohn's treatment isn't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Entyvio. Entyvio, relief and remission within reach.
At Wayfair.com, we think that when the big stuff ships free, it's just better.
Cover better, plunge better, plunge better, rock better, roll better, keep better, keep better. Yeah, better! Oh, Wayfair has free shipping. Game changer. Fast better, free better, everything's better. Ready, free shipping.
For orders over $49, shop better at Wayfair.com. Wayfair, you got just what I need.
Your brain changes as you get older, but Prevagen helps your brain with an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
Some hotel websites are just too complicated. Click here, it's like that. A registration? What's up with all these pop-ups? And now they tell me it's fully booked. What a waste of time. All I really want is a good 4-star hotel with Wi-Fi, a spa, and to have Kitty with me. By simply telling Trivago what I want from my hotel, I find the best price. Hotel Trivago.
This is food made to sit down for. Slow down for. Put the phone away and use a knife and fork for. And with Panera Catering, it's food worth sharing. Panera, food as it should be.
Tomorrow's headlines before they get right.
What would your lead be about this event at the White House?
Tomorrow's questions before anyone's asked them.
How far is this from normal?
Tomorrow's conversation tonight.
As you delicately place whack-a-mole.
I don't think there was any strategy here.
The 11th hour with Ryan Williams. More than the day that was, it's the day that will be.
It is never boring around here.
The 11th hour, weeknights at 11 on MSNBC.
Well, welcome back to Harvard. The House, as you can see, is now voting on the short-term spending measure to avoid a government shutdown tomorrow night. The measure is expected to pass short-term after the right-wing Freedom Caucus has just agreed to get into it. If it passes the House tonight, as it's expected to, it still needs to go to the Senate, of course, and then to the president's desk, where the government will shut down tomorrow night. They need 60 votes in the Senate, by the way. That means a lot of Democrats. Meanwhile, President Trump was in Pennsylvania today making his first campaign speech of 2018, expressing his support for Republican candidate Rick Sancone in the March 13th special election coming up for that 18th district seat. The president told Reuters yesterday, quote, "I am going to spend probably 4 or 5 days a week helping people because we need more Republicans." That's the president talking, though he was technically giving a speech on the economy. The president couldn't resist throwing some meat to his base. Let's watch.
Americans do anything. Build anything.
Hello, Kitty.
As long as
I'm
we
recording.
have pride in our country, confidence
Freaky.
in our values,
No, I'm just come to tell you I
and
decided
respect
What did
for
you
our
decide?
right.
instead of buying a new laptop,
Something
I don't
I'm really proud of.
need a new
I'm
set,
saying,
but
what do you
I
have
just
to
turn off
lose?
the Wi-Fi while I use the
African
other way
American
to the
unemployment
simple skin,
is at
nothing
its
else.
lowest level
Yeah,
ever.
fine. I mean, laptops are cheap though, baby.
The deplorables.
You get one that'll scan a lot faster.
That's a skin, not slow at
Couple
all.
$100. Anyway, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to use it for anything else at all. Just scan. Let's finish the scan job and see what else we
They
need
also
to
bragging about how
buy.
great the country's doing right now. Let's watch that.
Nobody thought we were going to have this kind of success so quickly. There's never been a better time to hire in America, to invest in America, and to believe in the American dream than right now. We can keep it like this. We're going to win a lot of elections, that I can tell you.
But it remains to be seen, of course, if voters will buy Trump's argument that he's made America great again. According to a new poll conducted by NPR, PBS NewsHour, and Marist, 51% of registered voters think the president's first year in office was a failure. 42% describe it as a success.
But you're moving.
And 7% said they were unsure. Well, the Harbaugh Roundtable is here.
Then I'll wait.
Them.
I gotta wait. My tournament round.
Bye-bye.
Moderate to severe plaque psoriasis is not always easy. It's a long-distance run, and you have the determination to keep going. Humira has a proven track record of being prescribed for nearly 10 years. Humira works inside the body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults taking Humira were clear, or almost clear, and many saw 75% and even 90% clearance in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, or prone to infections, or symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Join over 250,000 people who have chosen Humira. Ask about the #1 prescribed biological at dermatologists, Humira, and go.
So I needed legal advice, but I heard that my cousin's wife's sister's husband was a lawyer, so I called him. But he never called me back.
If your cousin's wife's sister's husband isn't a lawyer, call LegalZoom, and we'll connect you with an attorney. LegalZoom, where life meets legal.
Hey, are you taking a shoe test? Yep. And my teeth are yellow. I mean, I knew they weren't perfect, but
Oh well, I'll go with this loss.
clearly my whitening toothpaste is not cutting it.
Time for white strips. Crest Glamorous White strips are the only ADA-accepted whitening strips proven to be safe and effective. They work below the enamel surface to whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste.
Hey, nice smile. Thanks. I crushed the tissue test. Yeah, you did.
Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Quick question. Do you want the same tools and seamless experience across web and tablet? Yes? Great. Then you're ready for Power E-Trade, the platform prices service that gives you the edge you need. Sweet. E-Trade, the original place to invest online.
You always pay your insurance on time. Tap one little bumper and upgrade your rates. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Newsflash, nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accidents,
Oh yeah, keep going.
your rate studio
Where the fuck are you going?
Switch and you can save $782.
The fuck? You find the one little canyon? Holy shit.
760-3357 for a free quote today. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I've been working on my new job for almost a year, and I want a new car, but no one will finance me until I applied at paulblanco.com. I bought a late model Corolla that I love. Thanks, Paul Blanco.
Get your Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Chevy, Kia, BMW, Dodge, or Ford. Paul Blanco sells thousands of vehicles at a low price, low rate guarantee, offers down payment assistance, and negotiates with the lenders to help you get approved. No other dealer dares to compete. Skip the hassle and get approved at paulblanco.com.
Whoa, stick. Oh.
The U.S. House of Representatives has just approved a short-term spending bill in an attempt to avoid a government shutdown. We saw the vote there. The House passed the measure after the right-wing Freedom Caucus came out in support of it late today. And now the measure goes to the Senate, where its fate is, well, unclear. It's not putting it nicely. The federal government will shut down at midnight tomorrow night if they fail to pass it in the Senate. Anyway, President Trump's hoping to use his political capital to help Republicans avoid a blue wave this November, when he'll face a formidable Democratic opponent on the trail. Turns out to be Barack Obama himself. A spokesman for the former president told the Chicago Tribune Obama will continue to be politically active in 2018 with more endorsements and more campaigning. Meanwhile, Politico reports Obama's already strategizing on his approach with Democratic National Committee Chair Tom Perez. According to Politico, Obama is determined not to become the foil that he can see President Trump clearly wants him to be, and resist being the face of the resistance for his own part. Let's bring in the Hardball Roundtable. Kimberly Atkins, chief Washington reporter for the Boston Herald. Howard Fine has contributed to NBCNews.com, and Gabe Benedetti is political reporter for Politico. All of you, I want to talk to Howard because I think we actually agree on something right off the bat here. Excuse me if I jump to him, Kimberly. I thought Trump's speech today was a barn burner. I have never heard him give a better speech. I watched all the speeches in the campaign. For whatever reason, he rose to the occasion. I know it was homecoming. I think if he behaves like that, the Democrats are going to need a powerful candidate to knock him off his
Well, I think, Chris, that there is a big blue wave or wind blowing in 18, but if he's going to be able to sail against it and get through it, it's going to have to be with speeches like the one he gave. He talked about his strongest calling card, which is the economy, even if he didn't personally create all this by any means, and Barack Obama deserves credit for it to some extent. The economy's good, unemployment is low, minority unemployment is low. He made his best case today, and he stayed on the message. He spent the whole year getting in the way of whatever good message he has, which arguably is the economy, and that's what he did today. Light touch, some humor, salesmanship, just enough rah-rah. I mean, that was as good as Donald Trump.
No rabbit punches.
No, that's
none of those cheap shots.
That's as good as he's going to get on the stomach.
Let me ask you about the president, President Obama. To some people, still the president. I was watching the David Letterman interview, and I like it. Oh, he's still the president. How does he get into this fight without getting his face dirtied by Trump, who loves to turn opponents into dirt?
Yeah, very carefully. Look, President Trump is going to punch at Obama if he's out on the campaign trail. That's a given. So it's up to President Obama to pick his message carefully and to make a very careful approach to this. Make this not.
How do you make yourself a stand-back weapon?
You can. I think if anybody can do it, it's this president. Look, he's very popular. He has that over President Trump in space, much higher popularity. He also knows how to speak to issues and speak about candidates and speak to what's going on in the districts where he campaigns in a way that doesn't make this about Trump. It certainly doesn't overshadow the candidates themselves or some of the other up-and-coming Democratic stars that might also be able to be good on the campaign trail to serve as good surrogates. I think that's where he comes.
Okay, look, Judge, give me your matchup with these two guys. Well, the president, the former president, go out there by October 15th. They'll both have their faces in the news. You know it?
Yeah, absolutely. The difference is that the elections are going to be a referendum on President Trump, whether he likes it or not. And there's basically no world in which the midterm elections in 2018 are going to be a referendum on the president who had, at that point, left office 2 years ago. So Obama has been pretty clear, and his world has been pretty clear, that they're going to pick their spots very carefully, try and make an affirmative message out there. They'll take on Trump occasionally, but he's going to shy away from the idea that it's one versus the other. But Democrats are, they're happy with that comparison because one of them is very popular right now overall in the country, and especially with the base, and one of them with the Democratic base, and one of them is not that popular overall in the country, including with his own Republican base. The Republican base is smaller, so Democrats are not that concerned about this matchup.
Well, on stage today, President Trump largely stuck to his script about the economy, but off stage, he offered this exclamation for the impasse over keeping this government going tomorrow night. Let's watch.
I really believe the Democrats want to shut down to get off the subject of the tax cuts because they work so well. Nobody thought, including the Democrats, they could work this well.
They've been so good that I think the Democrats would like to see us shut down in order to get off that subject. That is not a good subject for them, the tax cuts, because of the way they've worked. Kimberly, is that true? The Democrats don't like the president getting credit for the tax cut, and that's why they're holding up the government?
That's not true. I mean, some Democrats, particularly in the Senate, want to see DACA action. What's the action on DACA? And they probably will see tomorrow some effort to try to negotiate that in before they give their approval of this bill. But no, this isn't about the tax cuts. This isn't about the Democrats wanting to shut down the government. This shouldn't be about anybody wanting to shut down the government. That's one of the most unpopular things that you can do. And I think in the end, the people will hold both parties responsible.
Maybe I'm a skeptic. How many people want the deal in this fight? How many want the fight? Well, because sometimes the fight's better than the deal. Yeah. If you're looking out for a minority community, which is growing every day in this country, Hispanics, Latinos, there's all, by the time we're 10 years from now, it'll be 20-some%. You want that community behind you, and you want it against the other side, right? Absolutely. So here's a chance for the Democrats to stick the Republicans with being the anti-immigrant party.
Yeah, well, it's not only that. They're obviously trying to build up their base politically speaking, but they're also making the calculation that people realize that Republicans control everything in Washington right now, whether it's the White House, the House, or the Senate. And so for Republicans to try and push this back on Democrats right now, well, the Democratic leadership just doesn't believe that's going to work. So they think it's a win-win right now, that they can convince their base, convince a lot of minority voters that they're standing for them against the Republicans.
I think Democrats don't mind this fight a bit. They don't mind.
It's not a fight for the sake of the fight. It's a fight for the sake of fight.
No, it's a fight to be on the right side. Right.
Yeah, but I would say that.
Well, no, sometimes fights are good. Yeah. Like here,
no matter what the Republican leadership thinks. Yeah. I think that Donald Trump thinks that he can win that spin war, that he can win that.
He'd rather be on the anti-immigrant side.
He'd rather be on the anti-immigrant side. Don't forget, he's not a government guy. His people don't like the government here, which they profess not to.
So shutting it down is not
Shut it down is not a sin in his world.
I think it's
not a sin in his
It's
world.
a weird world. What do you make of what he just said?
I mean, it is a world. I just find it really interesting that on one hand you're saying because he looked great because he read from a teleprompter for 10 minutes and didn't say anything offensive, but now you're saying that he wants to be the anti-immigrant.
I didn't say he looked great. I said he looked as good as he can do.
I said he's great.
I said he's good as he can do.
I just think in the same sentence, this is
I watched politics all these years, and I try to figure out who looks good, and I thought he looked good today.
The same guy who you said wants to be the anti-immigrant candidate, the same guy who just called a bunch of countries, pick whatever expletive you want. I think if he comes out in 2018 being the Donald Trump that we have seen for the last year, I think that it will be probably the best Democratic get out the vote vehicle they have.
Democrats hope for that. They're hoping for the worst case situation for the Republicans, which is stupid in politics. You got to assume you're up against somebody tough. David Grigsby.
Yeah, that's
I hope he does.
Yeah, no, they're obviously hoping for the worst case scenario, but they're not.
They hope he's a klutz. They hope he's a fool saying asshole every day of the week. Of course you want your opponent to do that, but is it likely? Anyway, in his limited campaign appearances last year for the Democratic candidates for governor of Virginia and New Jersey, President Obama took on his successor, although not by name. Let's watch.
I've been commenting a lot on politics lately, but here's one thing I know. You have to win a campaign by dividing people. You're not going to be able to govern them. What we can have is the same old politics of division that we have seen so many times before, that dates back centuries. Some of the politics we see now, we put that to bed.
Well, that's my religion.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think one of the biggest things that former President Obama has going for him is the same thing that makes everyone so excited about Oprah, is that they give a speech and they inspire people. And there's not a lot of that in Washington right now.
Totally with you. That's what I'm talking about Trump. By the way, I agree with you. And the people who are against, who might beat Oprah if she were to run, are also positive people like Biden. Anyway, the roundtable's sticking with us. Up next, 3 scoops coming for these people, and they're going to be really good, especially from Kimberly. It's going to be a rock-up, sock-up prediction. Just teasing. You're watching Hard Ball.
This is the world that we live in now. People are angry, but it's misplaced. How do we solve that problem? If someone commits this crime, it's treason, and that's impeachable. If you commit treason, I think you should be impeached.
Alternative facts, climate change, gun violence, addictions, guys got missiles.
America, we have to talk.
Do I use a toothpaste that whitens my teeth, or one that's good for my teeth?
I don't have to choose. From Crest 3D White comes new whitening therapy. It's our best whitening technology. Plus, it has a fortifying formula to protect your enamel. Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
I really look forward to getting my hair done. It's so heavy. I cried.
I'd invite you up, but I just...
Book of the month. Choose from 5 new books and get your favorite delivered to you monthly.
Running a business is not for the faint of heart. Luckily, Office Depot Office Max is here to take care of you. With print services, done right, on time, guaranteed. Expert tech support. And this week only, all PCs are on sale. Save $250 off this HP laptop. Plus, protect your investment with an accidental protection plan. Office Depot Office Max. OfficeDepot.com.
Taking care of business. Well, during the 2016 campaign, Donald Trump repeatedly claimed that the United States got no respect under President Obama.
They laugh at us. And what do? They have no respect for Obama whatsoever. They'll have even less respect for crooked Hillary. She's the worst. But they don't respect us. They don't respect our country. They don't respect our president. They don't like our president. Our rivals no longer respect us. Putin has no respect for Obama whatsoever. The Iranians like to taunt us because they don't have that respect for our leaders, right?
That was Rodney Dangerfield. Actually, it turns out the world respects us less now that President Trump's in charge. A new survey found that global confidence in the United States leadership has fallen to an historic low. The Gallup surveyed people in 134 countries and found just 30% of the American leadership under Trump. It's an 18-point drop from President Obama's
fucking bogeys. Would have been a great round.
The United States is the top-rated global value. Isn't that wonderful? The U.S. also falls slightly behind China. It's barely more